Hey, good afternoon everybody. Today I'm going to show you how to make Frangipane pie. And for my regular viewers, you may have noticed I bought a new camera. And I got a Sony that shoots directly in MP4, which saves me a lot of time editing. So hopefully I'll be doing a lot more cooking because it won't take so long. Anyways, back to the recipe. Frangipane is made from marzipan to which you add butter and eggs. So it is a sort of festive recipe. I'm just going to do the plain pie for you today with a pre-made pie shell because you know in the holiday season not everybody has time to make pie crusts, and this works just fine. Okay, it's pretty easy to put together. There's two ways to do it. You can do it right from scratch, which is what I'm going to do today. But if you have some pre-made marzipan either from my recipe or store-bought, you can just add the butter, eggs, and the flour. And here's the ingredients for the homemade. So first thing to do is get your oven preheated to 400 Fahrenheit. After the pie crust is defrosted on the counter for about 10 or 15 minutes, carefully poke it all over the bottom with forks till you got holes there. And try to do the sides. It may crack a little, and if it does, just kind of gently push it back together. And the filling should sort of fill that up too after, if need be. So this is blind baking. What that means is you're going to bake the shell partially before we put the filling in and bake it again. There's two ways to do this. Either you can just take your chances, which is what I'm going to do, and pop it in the oven and check on it after a few minutes, because if it starts to rise up, you just take it out and punch it with a fork. Or you can get some tin foil and put some baking weights or beans or rice or something, but it's kind of complicated and it's supposed to be a fast dessert. So it's about 4 minutes, and as you can see, let's zoom in a bit. Yeah, that's doing pretty good, and it's not bubbling up too much, so I'm just going to let it go. Yeah, so it's 8 minutes and it's looking pretty good. I just took it out to cool off, and we'll get the filling ready now. Well, I forgot to mention, after you take the pie shell out, just turn the oven down to 375 and let it cool off for a bit. Now, I'm going to start the butter creaming in here. It should be kind of melted, but you don't want it like too gushy at first. Now, you can take off the beater attachment. Yeah, you can always do this by hand, or if you've got like a hand mixer or something, it's just faster with this. So get your stick of butter, and you can either cut it on the paper. I just kind of do it like I'm chopping a banana here, obviously with clean hands. When you're cooking, everything is clean hands. Or you can do it on the paper like that too. So once that's all chopped up, get your beater back on and just start that creaming while you mix your dry ingredients. If you've never worked with icing sugar, it can get a little messy, so what I always do is I just cut a small corner on the bag and then kind of gently ease it into the cup here, because else you're going to get it all over the counter. It's a real pain to clean up, trust me. So once you got a bit in, just shake it gently. And you notice I'm doing it over the bag I keep it in, because that way I just shake it off in the sink and there's hardly any cleanup at all. Okay, so there's 1 cup visually, and the half cup. See, you shake off the bag, roll this up, stick it back in the cupboard, and you're good to go. Now the butter's creamed enough that I can add the eggs and the almond extract, which is the rest of the wet ingredients, and I just do this all at the same time. And if you are using my marzipan recipe and keeping score, yeah, you'll notice there's an extra half egg white in there if you do that. But honestly, for a pie like this, it doesn't matter. and the almond extract. And always be real careful measuring this stuff, it's really potent. And no, you don't want to do like 1.5 or something like that. And if you do find the taste too strong, we'll just put less, eh? Get that back down there. And just start that mixing up again while you finish your dry ingredients. So I got the almonds measured. I got my tablespoon of flour, just a little container there. And the pinch of salt, just sprinkle that on. You don't want too much in there. And no, I don't throw it over my shoulder. I got enough to clean up as it is. So just dry whisk that in the bowl. It doesn't have to be perfectly mixed in. You just want it sort of, you know, pretty good. Okay. Once that's done, just stop your beater and get a big spoon and just put 1 spoon in on the side and start that up again. Now you'll notice that when you do that, it should start to get the butter off it and mix in the eggs a bit. You can turn that up a little bit. After you get that mixed in a bit, stop it, put some more. You can put like a couple of spoons now. Remember that geometric dilution thing? Same thing here. Yeah, you can turn it up a little if you want to like really get it going. Now, one thing you don't want to do is whip too much air into this, because if you do, it's going to froth over in the oven while it's cooking. Now I'm just going to get the rest of this in all in one shot now. And just get any uncooperative butter off the beater. And just finish up mixing the filling. So once you've got that all mixed in, that it's a nice even consistency, yeah, that's basically what it's going to look like. I'll scrape that off and go over to the stove. I have my trusty old pizza pan. As you can tell, I've had this for nearly my entire cooking career, and if you get a good one, you know, it's like any other utensil, you don't need to change it. So just pour that out. And I am using the pizza pan in the event that it does boil over. You don't have to fuss with this too much. It'll spread out. And yes, I did notice that, and I'm going to clean that off. That's good. Don't lick the spatula. It's got raw eggs. Always remember that. Never eat raw eggs while you... So I got my pan all tidied up there, and it's looking just nice and full. I'm going to pop this into the oven for anywhere between 10 and 20 minutes. I will definitely check it at the 10-minute mark, see how it's going. 10 minutes just went off, so let's see how we're doing here. Yeah, this thing's got a great zoom on it. So you can see the bubbles that are coming up, but I don't think it's going to threaten the pie. So that's awesome. What I am going to do is check it in about, 5. Because if I zoom right in here, you can see on the edges right near the crust, can you see that that's starting to harden up there? Which is just what you want. You can see that ring right around the edge of the pie going in about 1 inch. When it gets to the middle, it's done. Here we are in another 5 minutes. As you can see, the puffiness there has reached the middle and it's starting to brown a little bit on the top. I think it's looking good. You could probably leave it in for another 2 or 3 minutes. So I pulled it out another 5 minutes. As you can see, it's nearly cooked. The crust is nicely browned. It's cooked in the middle. The only thing is you can see it sloshing a bit. Okay, this is probably because it's still hot. Now, to be on the safe side, because it's got eggs, I will pop it in for literally 2 minutes more, and that's it. Hey, look at that, you know? Just another 2 minutes. And you see how it was like totally sloshy before? Now it's nearly not moving at all. If you want to be absolutely safe, which I will, I have my oven turned off, and I'll leave it in the still warm but not baking oven for a few minutes, just till it's completely set up. And you can just jiggle it back and forth like that to know. Well, that extra 5 minutes just did the trick. You can see it's all mounded up nicely, and it's cracking in a couple of places, and it is not jiggly at all. So that means it's set up completely. I'm just going to leave it on here to cool for a while, and then I'm going to slice it and show you what it looks like. The pie is cooled down enough to cut, and unfortunately I don't have one of those cool pie wedge thingies, so I'll just have to use a normal knife and hope this doesn't like totally break up on me. So far so good. Yeah, I think the outside crust, you need one of those pie wedge things. But there you go. That's the consistency. It's nice and cooked all the way through. And I think I will have a taste, just so I can tell. I mean, usually I skip this part, but I've had this stuff before and it's really good. Oh yeah. So if you want a nice treat for the holidays there, that's not too difficult to make, get yourself the ingredients and whip this up. Your guests and yourself will be quite impressed, I hope. Anyway, so that's how you make frangipane pie. Thanks for watching. I hope to see you again. Merry Christmas.